So we're here to do review of the newspapers. We'll look at the online portals very soon.
Yeah.
And look at the Daily Graphic.
I'm actually, you know, I was looking at this story of a teacher, and I'm sure that you remember this story quite vividly. A teacher who spent 13 years behind bars.
Yes.
Wrongful conviction. Okay, so the Supreme Court did make some judgment on this matter yesterday. It's here in the Daily Graphic newspaper. So we're going to go to page 16. In fact, I am there already. Page 16 of the Daily Graphic is on the front page.
He spent 13
Let's
years
just,
in jail.
yeah, spent 13 years in jail. He's now getting some compensation, and he's going to get all the arrears, like all the salary that he would have earned for that 13 years.
And then would he get a lump sum?
And he's getting 450 or 45,000 Ghana cedis. So let's just do this the traditional way. Let's go to the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. You see that headline on the front page. There you have it. Pay for 45,000 Ghana cedis to wrongfully jailed teacher. Supreme Court orders government. 18 royals of Tafo in morgue, also for 13 years. And state of Akwatia, Takwa Obuasi, it's a disgrace to Ghana's development, according to our president. And then, well, there are some other stories on the back page, but let's start off on page 16 on this wrongfully jailed teacher who's now going to get some compensation. Well, this is the order from the Supreme Court. Quotes, it is hereby ordered that 45,000 Ghana cedis be paid by the government of Ghana as compensation under Article 14.7 of the 1992 Constitution on quotes the court ordered. So that particular article gives the Supreme Court the power to decide what sort of compensation must be paid to a person who has served the whole or part of a sentence but has been acquitted by a court of competent jurisdiction. And the 5-member panel, presided over by Justice Enini Yeboah, with Mr. Justice Paul Bafo-Boni, Justice Sule Gbadegbe, Justice Gabriel Pauman, and Justice Yao Apao as the order members. And we're told that this was a unanimous decision. The court came to the determination following a DNA test which proved that Mr. Asante was not the father of the child born out of the said defilement. His acquittal, after his acquittal, Asante, through his lawyers, filed a claim for compensation in excess of some 7.3 million Ghana cedis. He wanted compensation for the lost salaries as a teacher, what he could have earned as a part-time teacher, and the money he would have earned from other investment activities. So there's a picture there. You might want to grab the graphic and see the teacher, Eric Asante, leaving the Supreme Court with his lawyer, Victor Kwesi Opeku. So this is justice finally served.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But I'm thinking the lump sum should have increased.
Yeah.
Should have
been more?
Yeah.
Or what would you have?
45,000.
Yeah.
That's a little small, but he's gonna get all his arrears.
Yeah, he's going to
get the last 30 years.
He's going to get all the salaries and allowances that he lost during the 13 years behind bars.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Okay, let's talk about these 18 royals from Tafo who are apparently for 13 years still in the morgue. Why? Story says that the bodies of 18 members of the Agona royal family of Old Tafo in Kumasi have been kept in the morgue for the past 13 years due to litigation over the rights of burial at the Tafo Royal Mausoleum. So the family standoff has left the aggrieved family with no choice but to resort to the public space to put pressure on their family head, the Tafo Hene, to pave the way for the burial of their relatives. So I'll leave the rest of the details. It's quite lengthy for you to read and understand. It's from Severius Kalideri. That's the person who put together this report. It's on page 16 in the Daily Graphic newspaper. Rawlings and Mr. Arthur to attend revolutionary lecture at National Theatre. The story says that all is set for the second in the series of lectures dubbed the Revolutionary Lecture Series in honor of the experiences and philosophy of former President Jerry John Rawlings and the revolutionary transition Ghana went through. So former president and founder of the NDC will attend the lectures to be delivered by Professors Kwesi Botwe and Newman Kusi as special guest of honor. But it is Professor Kwesi Botwe who is making people well, believe really that he's entered the race to become the presidential candidate of the NDC. So a lot of people looking forward to his appearance and to see if he's going to make a comment on this, because he hasn't made any comment yet as to whether or not the rumors that he's entered the race or he's going to go is true or not. So we will see. All eyes on this particular lecture. Let's see. Controversies to host 6,000 delegates for MPP National Conference, and then center spread Bank of Ghana's interventions and policy initiatives to boost confidence in the banking industry. It's occupying the entire center spread of the paper. Back page of the Daily Graphic now. Mediama keep all stars at the bottom. FIFA under 17. Maidens drawn in Group A. Okay. And then Liberty Kotoko split points. These are the back page sports headlines. But of course, Benedict will be here with a lot more sports. So we'll leave the sports in for him to handle. That's it for the Daily Graphic newspaper. Roland has got the Ghanaian Times.
Yeah, so I've got the Ghanaian Times. On the front page, again, the president occupying or dominating the front page of the Ghanaian Times as well. And the story is captured as saying, President slams foreign mining firms for deplorable state of mining communities. If we could, we'll show you some of the mining related towns in South Africa. And you'll get to see what we're talking about and compare that to Obuasi. I mean, Obuasi is a mining town.
You mean?
You go to South Africa, you see some mining cities. I mean, cities have been developed out of the mines. And it's not the same situation in our part of the country. And I believe that's what the president was talking about.
But who is to be blamed?
Us, of course.
Who is us?
All of us as a country. Those who rule, those who are being ruled.
Yesterday, I listened to a banter. And it's almost as if we put a lot of responsibilities on these mining companies, forgetting that they also pay taxes. You know, they are like any other business.
And they pay taxes to the central government.
Exactly.
The central government is supposed to make sure whatever they get out of it is used wisely for those
But
communities.
It's almost as if
we always accuse the mining companies.
If there's which one can I use? If there's Goldfields or Ashanti Gold
or Newmont.
Yeah, in a particular location, we expect that the mining company would develop the entire area. You know, bring this, bring that, bring that. So forgetting that they also, you know, do what they are supposed to do as a company.
They are responsible as far as their duties.
Exactly. Yeah. And the other things we see them do is to take on corporate social responsibility, and which they also equally do. But we expect a lot more. But they are just like any other company, and once they pay what they are due to pay, they follow all the regulations. It is our governments that we have to hold accountable for development in our local communities.
And in this instance, the nearest is the one who heads either the metropolitan, the municipal, or the district assembly.
Yeah, but
and
it's a shame.
We have the regional ministers, then we have the various sectorial ministers, and the president and his vice. We don't hold them accountable.
Yeah.
So really, those companies may be responsible, but they are not the foremost responsible entities as far as we're concerned.
Yeah.
I don't think Anglo Gold Ashanti is expected to construct the main road in Obuasi. Make sure that those in the communities have access to credit, have access to facilities that will enable them to invest in businesses, that would enable them also to build skyscrapers, etc., that we find in other cities. No, the enabling environment is supposed to be created by Ghana.
Yeah. Here's the, Roland, still in your story, you know, the president asked a question, and it's a quote here. Why is Obuasi not the most beautiful city in Ghana or the world if it hosts the richest gold mine? Why do Takwa and Pristia not look like the golden towns they are? And why does Akwitia's appearance not reflect anything about the diamonds that have been taken from its soils all these years? And I've got an answer to the president. It's failure from the very top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where we are.
Exactly.
We have no ambulances, but we have lots of four-wheel drives.
Well, to be fair, we have some ambulances.
No, we have no ambulances. How many do we have?
No, we have quite a number. It's a different matter that some of them are broken down. It's a different matter that it's not enough to cover the entire country. But we do have some.
Okay, so then we have Other stories, Green Republic project to combat climate change takes off. And on page 17, the story is captured as saying the project is aimed at planting 20 million trees in the next 10 years across the country to help fight the adverse effects of climate change. And this is dubbed the Green Republic project. It was launched in Tamale, and Nana Yawasaid Dakwa is the founding president of a group that is doing that. They plan to plant some 10,000 trees in Tamale and its environs in the savannah reading areas, Bonafo, etc. 20 million trees all in all in the next 10 years. I think I agree, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. All right. So we also have the Supreme Court awarding 45,000 compensation to teacher, but minority is accusing government of breaching the Petroleum Revenue Management Act, and that's on page 15. And it says the minority spokesperson on finance, Kesalato Banforson, is accusing government of breaching the Petroleum Revenue Management Act. Mr. Forson, a deputy minister, a former deputy finance minister, said instead of channeling monies realized from the petroleum sector into infrastructural development, government was rather diverting most of them into consumption. And consumption, many of you will know, the high-end social welfare packages we have in the budget, free SHS, one district, one this, one that, and all that. Okay, but I think this one is mainly about free SHS and all. He said he was not against investing in free SHS, but government wants to come with an amendment of the Petroleum Revenue Act so as to have the free hand to dip their hands into the revenue from the petroleum and do as it wants. And it says that they will go to court. Okay. So basically those are the stories we have. But there's a story on the center spread, page 17. It's a story which is attributed to Imani. It says a research on the proliferation of new districts and constituency has proposed a cutoff point in the number of districts and constituencies created in Ghana. According to a report, some MMDAs created in the past failed to meet the statutory population requirement, for example, yet they were commissioned and granted the legal backing to operate, although MMDAs have failed to meet the development needs of the populace. The report, conducted in collaboration with Imani Ghana in Odiko, said the lack of transparency in the creation of districts sometimes led to pockets of grievances, inter-community conflict, stressing that reasons accounting for such incidences have included the citing of district capital and the naming of the district capital. And case in point was a subject of Ningo Pram Pram, you know, and it sometimes leads to some political consequences and all. I think we may discuss this on AM Talk and see how it goes. On the back page, though, is all sports. We're told Pate Boateng scored in the Black Stars win over Japan. I'm told that Japan dominated. They just didn't create.
I beg, we don't even want to know.
Okay.
We don't want to know. Let's do the Daily Dispatch newspaper, front page of the Dispatch. If an injunction is placed on Anas's video, we will show video on BBC, according to Kweku Bako. It looks like this is one of those moments. We've been here before. The previous one that he did, the investigative piece that Anas did, it was also the same, to show or not to show. We did the whole campaign. So I am so convinced that we want to watch this and it will be shown. But Kweku Bako reassures us, if you put an injunction on this in Ghana, we will certainly show it on the BBC. So, I'm not aware some persons at the presidency are into illegal fuel trade. According to NPA boss Sikanku on why JDM is a good candidate for the NDC. So these are the front page headlines in the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Roland's got the Daily Guide.
So on the front page of the Daily Guide, First Lady cuts sword for Children's Hospital. You know, we know that an incident occurred at that event in which a young man, we're told the student of Investigative Ghana was protesting. Yeah. And usually, like what we see in international media, they try
There's a video. We will work on it and pull it and show you. And Echo, please work on this for us. The video of the young guy who pulled a placard as the First Lady was delivering a speech, you know, as part of activities, to start work on a new project at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital is for children, just like we did with her at the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital with a new mother and baby unit. So here we go, Roland. That's the video of the guy. And the First Lady was still delivering her speech. She didn't make a comments on that. Where's the guy? Where's... Oh. Okay, so that's it.
And then after we had some comment from some presidential, appointees?
So the guy was arrested.
Yes,
he was arrested, and then he was granted bail later on. The police say they're trying to look into if he had other motives, but for the arrest was done because, of course, of the safety of the First Lady. But there's also been some kind of backlash because the guy was there for a while.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, if you really wanted to do something awful beyond pulling up the placard and protesting, if you like, then he would have done it. Where were the security forces when he got up and he had to walk the entire distance to get there and then show? Where were they all this while? So, yeah.
Well, good morning to you, Nana. And so before you said good morning to you, Mama V, you're back.
Yes,
so
I am.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
how is your wife, by the way?
Yeah, Summer is great.
I asked him to cook for his wife on her birthday.
Yeah. You did?
I did.
That's great.
I hope you did. Don't lie to me if you didn't.
Anyway, so we have other stories there. EC finally holds meeting. Bantama gang rape is jailed 7 years. But Kennedy, Japan fights Anas. The story is on page 3 of the paper. It says the fight between firebrand member of Parliament for Asin Central Kennedy or Hinie Japan and ace investigative journalist Anas Arimia announced has reached an alarming dimension with the splashing of Anas photographs on the social media. Matters came to a head last week with the arrest of Kwesi Nyantakyi, the GFA president, as we all know. He's questioning Anas' modus operandi, people's privacy, but Anas also, that is Tiger Eye, they came out with a piece, almost like a teaser, saying that they remain unwavering. They will show or they'll premiere the video. Second place on the 6th of June, I believe. So
I like all the noise that people are making on the sites. I like it because the video is going to be shown. So I like the hype. They should go on, whatever they do.
I think that it just creates more publicity for the video and the work done.
And good luck to those who are looking for the real Anas. Good luck to you. Continue.
Yeah. We have other stories. That goes to the center spread of the news. One pull out. Casapreco wins big at 2018 Manufacturers Award. We have Richard J. There. Richard J is the CEO of the company. And then we also have Patapa flaunts beautiful Empress. Patapa, now known as Patapizi, is the man of the moment with all the bars around him. Early weeks reports indicated that the Swedru-based musician is on a tour in Europe and also shooting a new video being sponsored by Togolese international footballer Emmanuel Adebayo.
He's on a tour. Like what kind of tour?
European tour.
Like sightseeing, No. So
he's on a tour
staging concerts
in Europe. And then in the process shooting, you can see him in his baggie there. That's the center spread of the news. One pull out.
Oh my God!
And he's here
you say like he's on a tour of Europe, like
he's on a tour.
Like we would
from
say,
Holland, from Holland to Germany to Italy,
sightseeing,
Belgium, France.
He went there with a band, like he's performing to a crowd.
Well, whether they're skidding on the DJ's skateboard, whatever it is. Patapizi.
Yeah, man.
So Patapizi on a tour. Apologize on CU. Esla wants A+. It says the Minister of Communications, Esla Usu Kufo, has threatened to file defamatory suit against controversial musician and MPP activist Kwame A+ over an alleged libelous publication.
But you've seen the response.
Yeah. Says he really doesn't care.
It's more like do your worst if you think you have a case.
We have also one from the law firm or the lawyers of the deputy chief of staff,
Asenso. Oh, really?
Yeah. Who has formally written to A+.
Oh.
It's from.
Oh, finally.
Is it A Partners at Law or something?
Oh, okay.
Samson Lade is a lead partner there. So
I'm yet to read that.
Yeah, it's on social media. And he said a number of things, so there's all that. But Sarkodie Fred's Baffo and other star in Becca's epic video. That's good. It's good to always see someone who is in the arts, an entrepreneur, but also a politician, always still interested in what he loves, even after retiring from politics or mainstream.
Well, did he say he had retired?
No, he has not, apparently. He's just taking a back seat. He was here on the show the other day.
I don't know, the way we kind of do our politics, the people who enter it and they're like, no.
Yeah. I mean, he's one person who says that the way we do our politics is not right.
Yeah.
The lady we're talking about yesterday, ABC drops Roseanne show after a racist tweet.
Yeah. So they canceled the entire show. One of the reasons, her name is on the show actually. Her name is the show. So you couldn't really, if you really wanted to act, you would just take the entire show down. They say that was one of the best shows on the network in terms of
ABC
ratings. Yeah,
and they work a lot with their ratings. Very sad.
You're through?
I'm through.
Okay. Let's say a kind good morning to our dear friend who works with Graphic in Kumasi, Daniel Kenu. Says, good morning to you, Bavu Boy, Roland Walker. Good morning, Daniel. We hope you're well. And then you can send us messages. So we do have some of your messages on what the president said about our mining towns, particularly Akwetia. Walanyo in Akwetia says, I 100% agree with the president, because when you come to mining areas like Akwetia, where I reside, there's nothing to show. It is very shameful to we the people of Akwetia. We absolutely agree with you. My father, my mother, they had lived in Akwetia before. And when you hear people who have lived there, done things, and seen the area blossom, if you like, the kind of things that they say about those places, if you compare it to the state that it is in now, it's a shame. And we can't even appreciate what they talk about. So yeah, let's do the Business Finder newspaper, one of two business newspapers, and then we'll go online and check out what's making headlines from our page, myjoyonline.com. But Business Finder, Ghana's debt management strategy laudable according to an EcoBank research. So they say that Ghana's public debt stock of 145 billion Ghana cedis, approximately 69.8% of gross domestic products, is manageable. And that's a report authored by EcoBank Research. So you can read about that in the Business Finder newspaper. They've got other stories, by the way. Let's do the Business and Financial Times.
On the front page of the Business and Financial Times, single window increases revenue by some 24%. The story is on page 3 of the paper. It says the implementation of the single window system has increased revenue of government by some 24% over the past 2 years, and rising from some 744 billion in 2015 to 975 billion Ghana cedis in 2017. The Ghana Revenue Authority, the Customs Division monthly import revenue performance data for the period has revealed for the first 4 months of this year, the total amount of revenue realized from import stood at 3.59 billion. A development that portends an increase in I'm not sure that the revenues are 975 billion, more like 7.44 billion and 9.75 billion. Can't be 700 billion. Your GDP crying. Okay, so we're told that also on the front page, mobile money interoperability transactions apparently are on the rise, and fund transfers from one mobile network to another is recording steady increase since mobile money interoperability came into being on May 10 this year. This shows there is increasing awareness and public confidence in the new system. Well, it's also because people don't want to go through all the hassle, but that's a major objective for which doing the interoperability. In the first 7 days of mobile money interoperability, a total of some 28,000 transfers valued, I think I'm among them, valued at 2.3 million Ghana cedis. I did that. They charged me 2.5% of the transaction.
How much did you send?
I think I sent 400 or 500. Yeah. And they charged me 2.5% of that. It was huge a bit.
Yeah.
Because the other one was 1%. The previous transaction.
You say the more people do it, probably will come down.
No,
I don't know.
You won't. Don't believe that. So on the back page, we have Kasapreko wins big. Is there Apamanya Kro Rural Bank post 1.2 million Ghana cedi profit in 2017, and those are the story. You have a picture there of the CEO of Kasapreko, Richard J, and the 2 awards. I was told that Kasapreko wins Young Manufacturer of the Year. They're still young. They've been in the business for a number of years now.
What I do know is that they have young products.
Young products.
Young products. So they they're very innovative. So they keep producing a lot of different things. They've got different brands. Massive manufacturing company.
They're a big company.
Let's say good morning. David Buenya from Senate West District says, the almighty planting for food and job going on in the country. We haven't seen our share. And David says that he's a registered member and he's asking for seeds and he hasn't received. So I think David, you're expecting seeds for cashew. Well, hang on in there. He says Ghanaians are eager to farm. So hopefully you'll get your seeds soon. Here's one says, I want to know if the money is being paid to the teacher. What will happen to the lady, and will the teacher get his job back? JK from Lions Town. I think it has to do with the story about the teacher who spent 13 years of his life in jail for a crime he didn't commit. You're asking about, please grab the paper and read the other stories. Okay, let's do online. What I meant was grab the paper and read the entire story. You probably might see the backstory, what you're asking, alongside the report in the graphic. Roland, this is myjoyonline.com.
So myjoyonline.com, A+ given 7 days to retract and apologize to Deputy Chief of Staff, Asenso Boache. We also know that on his heels is Minister for Communications, Esla Usu Ekufo. Biafra shuts down cripples Nigerian cities. The stay-at-home protest by Biafran separatists in Nigeria has crippled cities and towns in the southeast of the country. We all know the history of the Biafran War, the consequences, and the latest or even not decades of advocacy for separate states within Nigeria. I don't think it's always going to be a contentious issue. It won't happen. When you do that, it means others will also want to secede. That's a difficulty. Just rumbling. Dangle any price before so-called righteous, and they will still sin, and they will sin. So let's all be honest. If Anas were to dangle any price before the so-called righteous in our society, you can name someone you know. Trust me, they will sin. And I guess that's the whole thing about whether you bait people and whether they will take the money.
Can we take the argument from there? Let's move the arguments away from there.
But Kwekubako says that if you have integrity, I know people who will not take the money.
Listen, we want to see the video.
Who will not take the money.
We will watch the video.
But we know
people can come from all the other angles.
We know some who will take.
We want to watch the video. Yeah.
65,000. Am I supposed to be a subject?
I don't know. I think I should do my own investigative piece on Roland.
$5,000.
Like we'll get you back. We'll get you back.
Sharp.
But you know what Kwekubako said? You know what Kwekubako's confession on Newsfile on Saturday. I don't want to be the one to say it with my mouth.
No, he said that.
I'm going to cut it and play it to you.
Yeah, he loves apples. Apples. That one you will get him. So if you want to get him through the apples.
Any weakness. Okay. GJA wants police protection for Anas family members and properties. Ghana Journalists Association has called for police protection for undercover journalist Anas Aremeyo Anas, whose latest investigative work has reportedly triggered death threats. And you'll hear Kwekubaku read some of the messages that is sent even to him. And it's horrible. People can be mean, but whether they like it or yes, We're watching that video. Let's move on and do other story. Ukraine condemned for taking journalists' murder. So on this note, we want to play to you one of the stories that's been making headlines
since yesterday.
Exactly. So Ukraine staged the murder of a Russian dissident journalist in Kiev on Tuesday in what is said was a sting operation to foil a Russian assassination plot. So here's a man who died. His wife thought he was dead, and he appeared from nowhere.
His best friend thought he was dead.
At a press conference, and here he was. And this is it. Here we go with it. Oh, we're not ready. Are we?
Commercial.
Okay.
This Russian journalist was reported murdered in Kiev on Tuesday, but on Wednesday, Arkady Babchenko turned up to a briefing on his own death and thanked Ukrainian state security for saving his life. In an emotional address, he said he'd been reported dead as part of a special operation to thwart a Russian plot to kill him. He was sorry for the pain caused, particularly to his wife, but said there was no other way.
Over this month we were in constant contact. We thought things through and worked out the details. The result of that became this special operation, as a result of which one person has been detained.
So what if he really, really dies? Would we believe it? But the thing is, Russia, I don't know, sometimes I feel really sad because there are so many things that other people do just to taint Russia as a country. This is one of the things that I don't know what to believe, really. And I want to stick with Russia on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes we've maligned Russia.
Too many enemies, I think. Too many people who want Russia down.
And the way the media reports about Russia, it's as if that country is one hell.
Yeah, I really want to go to Russia. Probably be a reporter from JoyNews reporting from Russia.
Oh, you're going to
because the negativity is too much. It's just like China. Until some of you started going to China, and it's not all gloomy.
It's as if the way they paint China to you is when you go there, the people are dictated because they are communists, and they
Russia.
But you move free.
Russia, we're with you, and we are with you on the World Cup as well. We're going to follow through. I think it's a lovely country. I'd love to visit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's a World Cup. So Ghana is participating in the mini. They have the mini.
People are rehearsing with us.
So we went to Japan.
We're doing gota to gota.
Gota to gota. They relaxed for us. Then we scored them 2-0. Then we're happy.
Okay, so $1.5 million road safety education, Ghana being led by mad people again. I think it's a rejoinder, if you like. So you can read about this on myjoyonline.com. Leave Ghana for Togo if you can't stand Anas. NPP chairman fires back at Kennedy Japan. And I'll fight off any attempt to destroy me. Anas Kwekubako saying that. So there are lots of stories really, but there's one that we want to share with you just before we run off and bring you sports. It's a U.S. televangelist who's asked his followers to help fund his 4th private jet. You won't believe it, because Jesus wouldn't be riding a donkey. Okay, so this is the story of the preacher, and it's going to cost $54 million. Roland is millionaire. Dollars.
But God told him to
he wants 54,
get the 4th private jet.
Yeah, and he wants it in donations because, yeah, definitely. So that's it. Please, there's a video. Can we play?
And that's the jet.
This is the 4th jet that he's asking for, Abby. I know I have owned 3 different jets in my life, and I see them and just burning them up for the Lord Jesus Christ. Quote, some people believe that preachers shouldn't have jets. I really believe that preachers ought to be able to go on every available voice, every available outlet to get this gospel preached to the world.
And this is what he's buying. The Falcon Jet 7X.
It's Falcon X, yeah?
Yeah, 7X.
Okay.
The interior, it's almost like a Reggie Manuel estate.
Roland.
And that
But he wants this to do the work of God, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. All right, so Benedict is right there on standby. Let's just quickly wrap up with some of your messages. This one says, oh, somebody welcoming me back. Mensa Oklu from Akachi. Well, thank you very much. Says, government should do something about the lamp technicians. We know that they've been on strike. Yesterday, they actually got out of a certain meeting with the Ministry of Health, and they were supposed to have gone back. We'll give you the latest update this morning on that situation. We'll see how far where we've gone in resolving this. Lots and lots and lots of your messages. I don't even know where to begin. Here's one says, oh, thank you all for welcoming me back on the show. Thank you very much. This one says, I join hands. Where are you? Oh, okay. I join hands with you this morning and pray that grace and mercy of God would uplift you into your greatness. Oh, okay. Thank you very much for this message as well. We'll come back and read some of the messages that you've sent to us. We've got Benedict, who is right here on standby. Benedict, yesterday morning, it's been, what, 24 hours?
Yeah.
So any hints about where Kwesi Nyantakyi is?
Well, he's still here in Ghana.
Ah, okay.
That's all I know.
Okay. Is this the longest he's stayed in Ghana?
Yeah, she thinks so, because since he became the FIFA Council member as well as a CAF vice president, you hardly will get him in Ghana for a full week. So I think, I presume this is the
Did they
first
take
time.
his passport from him, do you know?
I can't tell, but I
Did
know
they tell
his
him that he
phones,
couldn't travel outside the country?
That I also cannot tell, but I know his phones are not with him. Yeah, you know, normally when you are going through investigations of this nature, they will take your phones and all that. So I presume probably maybe other things have been taken away from him as well.
But I'm asking, since everybody knew that the police were looking for him, or somehow the police will look for him, do we think he will keep all the sensitive messages in the phone?
Well, that I also cannot tell.
You cannot tell?
Yeah, I can't tell.
So why you say his phones are off?
Yeah, all his phones are off, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
The only one that looks real, that will make sure that I know for certain the messages will be in there. The one Kuku Anyido holds arrest, that one, the phones will be there because he was taken unaware. But this one is coming from Morocco or wherever he was coming from. He knows that if I come, I'm hungry.
Roland, the issues and the investigations, please keep the rest of it. Benedict, what are you, beyond what we have asked you about Kwesi Nyantakyi?
Well, Xylophone Cash Premier League matches were played yesterday, so we'll talk about that. The team I think you've fallen in love with, Karela. Yeah, yesterday. Yesterday.
My Karela.
Are they doing well?
Yeah, they are doing very well. Yesterday, they went away to the Sogakope Park, a place that is very difficult to even get a draw. They drew against Wafa there.
Wow.
And Asante Kotoko also were here in Accra at the Dansuman Park. They played against Liberty.
They split points.
And yeah, they drew 1-1. We have the Roland Garros, the French Open, yesterday. Some matches were played. We'll show that as well. And then the draw for the FIFA under 17 Women's World Cup was made yesterday. Ghana, we are in Group A with the likes of Uruguay. And the man, that's Mohamed Salah, will be fit to play a part in Egypt's World Cup campaign.
Yeah,
that's also some bit of good news for Liverpool fans as well as those that are affiliated to Egypt.
Benedict, somebody was suing.
Yeah, there's this lawyer in Egypt who says he was going to sue Sergio Ramos 1 billion euros for hurting. He says
have we seen anything like that before?
No, we haven't. He said for him, he thinks that Sergio Ramos deliberately injured Mohamed Salah. One, not to allow him to play the full length of the game, which probably could have turned things for Liverpool, and also not to allow him to go to the World Cup. But now it's come out that he will be fit to play a part in the World Cup.
And I think that you sports journalists don't do well. Where's Dembaba?
Dembaba is around, and Dembaba actually is in the team. He was named in the preliminary squad for Senegal's team going for this World Cup. You know, he picked that horrible injury, broke his leg. He recovered. Now he plays in Turkey. And
so he's fully recovered?
Yeah, he's fully recovered, and he's playing and he's scoring goals. Yes, I mean, before the season will end in Turkey, he was scoring some amazing goals.
Give us updates on Dembaba.
All right, okay. Then definitely, I'm sure you get to see him more when we get into the World Cup proper, because he's part of the Senegalese team and he's expected to play for them there. So, I mean, all these and other stories to come after this short break. Don't go away.